coming to get me. Help, 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 the ambulance. Monday, January 25th, 2021. And, see, let me show you a little bit. They've been spraying all day, all night. You can see I've been watching, I was blogging in my native language. And I've been here for an hour. No, yeah, according to the video that I did, I guess. So you can see, I've been seeing how those lines, they've been spreading. They look like a fat snake. And, the other one kind of like fade away. I don't know. So that's what it is. Like constantly spraying the chemtrails, supposedly to prevent climate change. Global warming. That's what, supposedly that's Bill Gates. Like I say, it was in the news. I've been forgetting to, have to bring the article to read it to you, in case, but everybody know already. I mean, he came out and say that, I guess there was complaints about it, and he came out and say that this is extremely necessary to avoid a global warming. So he wants to avoid global warming in the middle of the winter. It's like right now it's like 35 degrees. So yeah, I guess it should be like by now. I guess it should be 20 degrees since it's like towards the end of January. But it's been a very mild winter in New York. I'm happy that last night Professor Jason Black, denounced American imperialism, or white terror, whatever you wanna call it. I believe that's, might be because of the Great Conjunction. It might be because of the age of Aquarius, as we've been told that a lot of people was gonna be coming around. I've seen a lot of shows, a lot of like Zooms, whatever they call it. Okay, yeah. This thing is not too much. Now, why am I obsessed with this? Like symmetry or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Symmetry. Okay. I don't know. I just want to. Never mind. Focus. So yeah, I've seen like the Lookman used to be a couple. Now I think because I went to one of my old channels where I'm subscribed. It's like you have to subscribe when you guys got all your channels. You have to subscribe to somebody, otherwise you fall off by the waistline or whatever they call it. So I went to that channel and I got subscriptions, from them. But now I see that most of the shows are all women now. I think the gentleman is gone. Lookman Nation. I think it was Lookman Nation. So yeah, she had she had a lady the other day saying, that Americans don't realize their tax dollars are purposely being used to destabilize governments, to destabilize their world countries' economies, and keep them perpetually poor, so we can exploit them easily and buy shit extremely cheap. So there was that. I took a video of that and I put it on my Twitter. I said like, wow, this is like, we're gonna play dumb. Well, at least that's a start. Okay. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. I mean, if that's what it is. It do hurt because it just, that silence from Americans, while your government like I said, for the first time we got to see in real time, how you know, European corporations or, whites operate in Bolivia. We saw in real time, how they orchestrated a coup d'etat on, where was it, October 20th, 2019. And, just by saying, Almagro, who is the head of one of the United States institutions, organizations that, they're the ones, the major founders of that organization. Oh my God. Oh, I think it's the Organization of American States. Luis Almagro is the head of that. So all he had to do, it was just say, oh, there was fraud in the elections. No proof, created chaos. I mean, of course, later we found out that the United States had secretly introduced millions of dollars into the plurinational Republic of Bolivia. And, that way he was able to buy, a lot of, politicians and, to buy, he bought the army, he bought the military, and a sector of the military, the ones that orchestrated the coup d'etat. So basically they told him, and I think his name is Carlos Mesa, I'm sorry, he's like in his 70s right now. So Carlos Mesa, he said that the day before, he said, tomorrow at 6 p.m., Evo Morales is going to resign. It's going to leave office. And sure enough, why? Then we learned why, because, he called them, and his people called Evo Morales, the president of the plurinational Republic of Bolivia, telling me, like, if you don't resign, we're gonna kill your family and all your party militancy. So he resigned, and it was a year of hell. It was a year of hell. It was a year of massacres. It was a year of where the original people of Bolivia was turned away at the hospitals and other institutions for being black, or for being morenos. This is the game that we play. We don't realize that, we don't want to realize that moreno come from the word more. So it's a synonym of more. More is a synonym of black, right? So it's just the game that we play, And so last night when I heard, I was almost like, what? I can't believe it. He was talking about Amanda Gorman, a 22-year-old poet laureate, yes, because she's been winning national poetry contest since 2007 or something like that. She got so you can tell that she's been trimmed for that moment in particular, and and walking over here, I was saying wow, if it had been 20 years ago, maybe, but I mean to be a poet laureate, to read poetry like that and stuff, you must have good reading skills, right? If you have good reading skills, you read, and at 22 she must have read a lot, especially now her generation, which is about they're all into reading social studies and economical systems, government, systems, and all that thing. They are the most well read people, I think, in a long time. Millennials and centennials, I'd said that, but obviously a lot of this stuff they get it wrong because they're reading stuff that was written specifically to keep people misinformed, right? To keep people to justify or the Monroe Doctrine, The Monroe Doctrine, which John Bolton bravely said that he is about that. You know, there's nothing wrong with the Monroe Doctrine, where supposedly tell us that James Monroe had a vision, a divine intervention, where he was told that United States must, you know, rule the entire hemisphere, that United States must manifest destiny. And that's what we see them push all the time, you know, in Latin America, which is like it's like the ultimate insult, you know, when all you see us is as a, you know, as a colony, you know, third world countries for the taking. This is why we all got that label, you know, third world countries, you know, developing countries or whatever, you know. It's just to mark us with this, you know, like, you know, they need our help. They need our help, and we should get there. And you know, right after that, all you have to do is just make a small connection to the Monroe Doctrine, where, you know, there's no way in hell they're gonna allow any other world superpower to to get whatever, you know, like the way they see it in their head as to get a share of the pie. You know, as you know, Dr. Clark used to say, you know, whites don't do fractions. You know, don't do fractions. There's nothing like, you know. I mean, there's gotta. I mean, right now, for the first time, they are being forced into doing things that are less, you know, shameless that they used to be. Like used to like force entire countries to sign, you know, suicidal treaties like NAFTA. NAFTA is just like, you know, while the treaty, it was really great for the so-called United States, or as is known, the United Slaves, because, you know, we were sending, and we're still sending our best, you know, all kinds of vegetables, especially your coveted avocados. We're sending, you know, even flowers. We're sending, like, you know, it's like kind of like poetic, right? And what Americans sending back then, you know, junk food, all these kinds of, you know, what they call like chocolates and candy, and then stuff, all the poison, all the fast food chains that you know, in only like about, I guess, in 30 years, we went from being one of the healthiest countries in the entire planet now to be one of the top countries with highest index of heart attacks, cholesterol, you name it. You know, and you know, that's what, you know, made us vulnerable with this scamdemic. You know, that, you know, we have people who you know, it's just like misery seeks company, right? The United States wasn't happy, you know, with that, to having the world title when it came to obesity. Remember that there was articles coming out of Europe that say that they didn't want American tourists in their hotels because it was busting the beds and the chairs because it's so fucking fat, you know. And so they're like, okay, so let's do this to others, you know. And you know, like the Dominican, in the Puerto Rican community here in New York City, there are, you know, a lot of morbidly obese, and they got the worst type of fat, you know, because what they do, and we do too as Mexicans, the worst type of fat is the gut, the belly fat. It put pressure on our heart, and it is just too close to the most vital, you know, to vital organs. You know, we can end up with a fatty liver. We can end up just because we have so much fat around the liver, you know. So it's it's as much as people they want to say that NAFTA didn't help Americans, because they call themselves Americans. Europeans calling themselves Americans. That's just appalling. And that's the beginning of all our problems. We should, at one point, the moment that get a little bit of agency, we should have used it. Like, you know what? We want you to call yourselves Euro Americans, German American, whatever. Like, not straight up American. Come on, it's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I mean, everybody else, we always like, their generation, and oh no, it's Mexican American. Not American, not straight up American. Unless you're a trillionaire or something, then they'll claim you, right? So that was good. That was good. I mean, like, there was no mention. It was mention of even Egypt, Egypt, not Kemet, Egypt. It was mentioned Iraq. He said, like, well, tell it to Iraq. For the past 20 years, they've been bombed. They've been like poisoned. They've been burned. They've been like, the same tactics. I really hope our African Americans see themselves that you are just another nation. You're also been like, we actually we I would say that they first actually tried on you, on African Americans or continental Africans. I realized, I've been reading for like the past year. I've been reading African Twitter, so I'm thinking like, yeah, I think, they first try all the tactics and all the shit they tried on Africa. They bring it to African Americans, and then they bring it to the whole hemisphere. The non-white peoples in the hemisphere. They got the same tactics. The same tactics. You've been bombed, firebombed. You've been like, sabotaged, infiltrated. You name it. What do you think happened to all developing countries? Why do you think they happened to all Latin America in this past 500 years? It's a simulation of like, okay, so we give you some power, we give you some land, and then, like the so-called Indian reservations. They got their Indian reservations, and then they got all this alcohol, right? And now devastated with alcohol. So we don't learn anything because, that was a lesson from China. That was a lesson from China that there was flooding the entire land with heroin, poppy seed, and stuff like that. And China woke up and said, like, what? I thought these people was, have changed or something. I don't know what China said at the time, but the response was deafening. That was deafening. It was like, you know what? They're the ones who benefit. They're the ones who benefit. I didn't even know this. Somebody just this past summertime, I was at the beach, and this gentleman, told me, that South Korea, they practice Garveyism, and they actually send a letter to I think it was UNIA or something like saying that thanks to because it was thanks to Garveyism that they started creating their what are the electronics? I forgot. LG, I think LG is South Korean. I don't know what it's like. They decided they needed to do their own thing because they was going to be asphyxiated, suffocated, just for not being Eurocentric, and everybody have benefit. China, everybody's like, look at them. They said it's like, hell no. They don't even have a Western social media. I understand they have their own version of Facebook or whatever, Instagram. They got TikTok. We actually was the one who got TikTok. That's thanks to Biden when he was with Obama. One of the things that that it shocked me, that I want to say that whoever watched this video, is that one of the leading geopolitical analysts in the whole planet, he just had like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, right before inauguration, he gave like 3 scenarios for that could potentially happen, and he said number 3 was civil war. And he was so, I didn't even know. I really believe that he's getting paid. Unfortunately, he's an Arab. He is Lebanese, like Carlos Slim. He got a Lebanese father. I think obviously his last name is Khalife. No, he got, interesting. He got 2 Arab last names, Arab, African, but they don't like to call themselves Africans. So, yeah, he got. He say his mom is Mexican, I guess. Yeah, because he got 2 Arabic last name, Khalife Rahme with an H in the middle. So he said if there was a civil war, my prediction is that the whites will win and the African Americans will lose. I was like, who the fuck says something like that, And then in the same interview, he said that Obama, he said that Biden was Obama's puppet. I put him on blast. I didn't tag him. I don't want to give him the heads up. I'm sure one of his followers is gonna already inbox him. DM him. Well, he's not on. He's in Twitter. He's banned from live, but he got a Twitter account from somebody, whatever. He spewed some venom from that account. So I was like, he's him. It is him because, one day not long ago I call him, Arab, and he went immediately. He went on to put a picture of his childhood and say I'm proud of my Arab, Lebanese heritage, whatever. But I'm Mexican. My mom is Mexican, or whatever. Yeah, right. So immediately he came out and defended what I say. I'm like, and he, he got several things that lead me to believe that he's receiving. I'm not going to say everything. But the way I see now, anybody can get hired. Even I can get hired with no, major consequences. Like a one-time. They do okay, a one-time deal. Here is $10,000 cash. If because let's face it, a lot of people, they have very low self-esteem or they have none, and the vast majority, we hate ourselves, right? So for $10,000 might say, just say that, that African Americans are because he's been saying that for a while. I caught him again. Now that I'm thinking about it, I caught him again saying that the Mexican community is just as powerful as our African American brothers and sisters, or something like that. Something very diplomatic. And it's like, why are you comparing us? It's like when it's no way of comparison. Their land is across the Atlantic. Our land is right next door, right? Our land is actually right here because more than 60% of our land was stolen, by these murderers, Europeans. So And that's something like, that, oh, that's, yeah, who remember that? Who remember that, But, we remember, and we're just waiting for the right time as always, you know. That's how you win. We're not impulsive, we're not compulsive, we're not repulsive. you know, we gotta wait for the right time, and we decided a more, you know, just you know, relocating, and slowly by slowly getting our land back, right? Because it's a war of culture, like it's a cultural war, like Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark used to say. This is a cultural war. You say like we lose the cultural war, you lost the war at all. So, because they just put their name on anything and everything, just like Trump, he leases his name to anybody. You know what? I want this university to be called Trump University. I say, yeah, how much? How much? You don't even say, let me think. You don't even say like how much? How much? And if you come with a price, we got Trump University, Trump Foundation, Trump whatever. He's a whore. A whore is a whore, and that's it. People that are trying to like figure him out. It's like it's a whore. It's a whore. Like everybody, over here, and that's gonna be the downfall of the empire. The fact that they're all loose. They have very loose morals that they go with whoever give them more. That's it. It's like, oh, this and that, okay, whatever. They might pretend they're listening, but they're waiting for the bottom line. I say, what is the bottom line for me? Or they might say, let me think about it. But they're like, oh, we do it for free. Why we do it for free? Because then they're gonna be introducing, corporations. They're gonna be like introducing like whatever. So they're gonna be making trillions of dollars. There's always some ulterior motive. Always some ulterior motive for anything this corporation they call United Slaves, and they do. There's always. There's an agenda. There's like, and one of the things that Professor Jason Black was talking about last night. It's just how they plan in decades and centuries, and how they was lining up all the chips, and how was it getting rid of all the obstacles, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, all the major critics of the Democratic Party was eliminated. The last being Me Too. Me Too was like a purge. That was a purge, the Me Too. I can't believe he started mentioning all these names. I don't even know them. O'Reilly, I heard, yeah, he's been gone, and all these, they've been gone, and that's something that it's a benefit for the whatever the elites of the elites, but it's not. It don't favor the ones that are not at the top of the very, very top of the pyramid. It's not. It's not going to benefit them, and that's what they're banking on. The fact that they always cashed in with our desire to be around the winning circle, the winners. We always want to be associated with the victorious ones. It's just I don't know if it's like colonial. I don't know if it's feudal. I don't know. I don't know if it's just human nature really from like hundreds of thousands of years. I don't know. But that is a fact right now. We, I mean, I, hopefully I'm not, but most people are susceptible of being lured with, don't you want to be with the, with the winning people? Don't you want to be around the ones that, you know what I'm talking about? That's always been their shtick. It's always been their shtick. That's why, in every movie, they always paint themselves as, they're barely touching the pavement. They don't touch the floor when they walk. Perfect smile, perfect clothes, perfect everything. So because they are hitting in our brain to that, they're catering to that desire that there is there to be around the ones that, the winners. I don't know how to say that, and I don't even know how to pronounce that word. It sounds like, to me, I always sound like, oh my god, am I saying the winners? Am I saying the winners? Like the victorious. We want to be with that circle. We want to be with that circle. They always trained us like that. In like, even in a nightclub, it's like, don't you want to be in the VIP? And like always, the radio stations, everybody like, we got VIP tickets. We got VIP tickets. So unconsciously, always everybody just like, we want to win. We all want to win. But sometimes we don't even know what that means to us. We don't realize there's a definition for everybody. It's not, but this is how they, I think the word is co-opt. The same that they did with the connotations of the color black and the color white. They just switch them. They switch them. Everything that used to be associated with blackness now is associated with whiteness, right? So people even are terrified of using imagery of melanated deities, or in order to like, just as a point of reference, not to worship an image, but just as a point of reference, like I always thought to myself, the point of the so-called Madonnas and Buddhas is just automatically remind us of serene, a serene state, and not the serene state because we want to be numb. No, because serene state, because that's where if we are at peace, if we are serene, we can see all the options available to us. If we are stressed out, if we are anxious, or nervous, afraid, or whatever, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna make mistakes. It's like, like when you're in a hurry and you want to open your front door, it's so fast and you're in a hurry and you miss. You never miss. You can open your house door, or you can start your car with your eyes closed. You can find the key in the hole, because that's how it's become an automated reaction. We get to our house and we go, boom. But that day that we are in a hurry, that we are like desperate to get in our house or to start the car, that day something happened. So this thing's still on. Yeah, I still have like 15 minutes before it cut me off. So that is what they're banking on. They know that is the state that they want us. The state of distraction or stress or anybody can tell you. You don't need to be a medical professional to tell you that, we operate best when we are like, that is what Dr. Clark used to talk about all the time. It's a lie they came out with any civilization, because they've been at war from day one. Whites been fighting from day one. And the whole thing with civilization is civil. Civil. You have to be civil in order to produce with a civilization. In order for me to be the mother culture, to be the you have to come from a place of harmony. Civilization. Like, there's no nation who have really produced like culture or whatever. The only one that produces is war culture. I was reading Iranian press yesterday, and we are already sending ships, plane, the fighting missiles. I don't know, the warplanes to Turkey. We're sending ships to China. China's already in full alert. China already revealed that they have all their artillery in the ocean. They have all their artillery in the ocean, in the skies. They're in high alert. China's on high alert. Russia's on high alert. We already saw that they orchestrated that propaganda machine. Like, I said, we don't have a Julian Assange. We don't have Edward Snowden. We don't have Chelsea Manning. We don't have there's no outrage on that, right? There's no outrage on that. But Russian unceremoniously, just removing fascists. I'm not talking about, they say, oh, of course, she's a woman. That's feminism. That's misogyny. Everything is misogyny, patriarchy. There's no longer racism. You notice how racism left? Everything is patriarchal. Everything is misogyny. Everything is homophobic. There's no more racism. Racism, imperialism is like nobody. No. So I want to see all these demon rats. The modern generation of the Jane Fondas and all this stuff, because this administration, they are warmongers. And the worst part is that they are dronists. That's what Biden. If Biden's legacy, it can be, is like the normalization of drones during wartime. And not even during wartime, come on. Not even during. We saw how they took General Soleimani in Iraq. With precision, and there was no bloodshed. There was no. Oh shit! I didn't even see the one in the back. Look at this one. They're so quiet. They're behind me. Did you see that fog? You saw the snakes that I showed you a little while ago. Now they got diffused into this mist, and that's supposedly what is the metals that are gonna reflect the sunlight, the sun rays, to prevent global warming. Yeah, right. Because we all know that vitamin D deficiency is the #1 culprit for COVID deaths, right? The mortality rates are intimately related to vitamin D deficiency, vitamin C deficiency, all that stuff, and that's what they're depleting the soil. No minerals. You can be like, okay, I'm eating this, I'm eating all that, but if you take it to a laboratory and they tell you, how many minerals it got, and you see the amount of minerals it was supposed to have, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. You see, that's what they do. You know, people have told me that in Africa there's land that nothing grows. In Central America, the same. You know, they say, I don't know what they did to the land, but you know, all you know, even up to I would say even Chihuahua was a rainforest, according to, you know, indigenous writings, and even according to European historians, they found that. I mean, even I was talking to my friend from Oaxaca. I was talking about Oaxaca City, the capital, and she told me the last time she was in there, because you know she didn't have a green card. I don't know, or she didn't go there. I don't know. No, she was born here. She was born here, but she grew up there, and then she went back. And she said that the city was surrounded by a forest. It's like pine trees. It's kind of like pine trees. That was the city surrounded, the city of Oaxaca. She said now all the trees are gone, and it's garbage all over the city. I'm like, oh gosh, this is why I want to go back. I mean, come on. That should be, I mean, that's one of the most melanated states in Mexico, and that's where one of the largest populations of Afro-Mexicans is at. So we definitely have to have, like, you know, little Africas. I want to start like little Africas in at least every major city in Mexico, you know, where have lectures on, you know, I mean, I don't know how we're gonna get translated. You know, all the books from Dr. John Henry Clark, from Iva Van Sertima, from, you know, I mean, there's a campaign literally not to translate them. And if they are translated, they are not distributed. And that's your next door neighbor. Your next door neighbor don't know nothing about you. You know, like I posted on Twitter, that was like 4 years ago, you know, Dr. Javari Alsace, he go to Africa with his wife, Onika, and, you know, they take videos, they do a lot of things. They have businesses in there. They have, like, you know, they're an amazing, you know, power couple. And so they did a video that they showed up with Soneta, where he asks, you know, the locals. Yeah, I was asking very locals, you ever heard about African Americans? You ever heard, like, I said, what is that? What, in Africa, they don't know who you are. They don't know you're here. They don't know we're African Americans in Africa. So, you know, and it's the same thing in Latin America. Nobody knows them. You know, the only thing is like, we're like bad boys. That's what we know about African Americans. And I mean, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? I mean, it's like, there have been opportunities. I mean, like, you know, hey, you know, just let's reach out. Let's reach out, work together. Learn our language. You know, I mean, we're not going to learn English for what? It's another colonial language. At least our language have been localized. We have created our own language in Latin America, and every day it's getting more and more, you know, pervasive. It's more and more pervasive thanks to social media and whatever. We understand, like right now, we understand all Latin America. We understand all Latin America. I mean, of course, there's still words that I might not, you know, localisms, you know, like, you know, a few words, but not like before. You know, before I would probably wouldn't understand a lot of words or Venezuelan brothers and sisters are mentioning, you know, are saying, speaking, whatever, you know. And now we understand. They understand us, you know. Well, they understood us first because they used to be watching our movies and our soap operas. Embarrassing, you know. But, you know, learn our language, you know, come and buy land. You can buy land. Like I said, I keep on saying, the last puppet president we got changed the Constitution. You can buy land without becoming a Mexican. you can have dual citizenship. You can come and go, like especially the ones in Texas. Plan B, like I say, get some land. Get some land. You don't have to build it. You don't have to build it. You buy, you can all buy like, like 5, 6 families. Do like a zuzu flower, we call it tanda. Every week you give like, let's say if you have a tanda of $1,000, right? So your family, all your family, your brothers and sisters, whatever, you have to come up with $1,000 every day on Monday, whatever, and pull it together. So depending on how many numbers there is, and when it's time your number, you get all that money. You get all that money, and then that's how that you can start another tanda to make it into like until you end up like a $10,000 tanda, whatever. So you can build it. But you first get the land, get a big nice chunk of land in Oaxaca, or even at the border. Even at the border, and the first thing you do is just fence it, build a wall, like a wall of the city of Benin, or you get your high wall, right? You put like whatever you can make business if you don't want to live there, and you can start making a little like mini high rise for the families, and the entire rest of the land. It can be cropping, it can be raising animals or whatever you want to do. It's just unbelievable that we are so separated. It's just unbelievable, like trust me, it's no accident. It's all by design. This is all by design, and I'm glad that that we know who is the mastermind from all the atrocities inflicting our planet, and I'm glad that he denounced it. I'm glad he said, how dare you, all we've been doing is been bombing the entire planet, terrorizing the whole world. He said it. He didn't recognize Latin American struggle, but that's a beginning, right? That is a beginning, to have our African American brothers and sisters to recognize that your government is a mass murderer. Your government is one of the shameless thieves, pirates, constantly terrorizing the oceans. Stealing. We saw how they stole the surgical mask, the gloves. They stole their entire ships. They stole entire ships. The same way they steal entire ships full of oil coming from Iran to Venezuela, just to suffocate, to humiliate them, and to subordinate them, to subjugate our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. And I don't know. I believe everything happened for a reason. This Aboriginal movement, I think is a great thing, but Aboriginals, one of the main traits of being Aboriginal is the land. We have to solidarize. I don't know. Show solidarity with everybody who is struggling, to preserve their land. So that's our solidarity, first solidarity, that the people, and to become one with the land. It's not about being a feudal lord. It's not about land ownership, like they say, like, oh yeah, it's like that was stupid. That is like, yes, but at the same time, we realize in this hemisphere that we are one with the land, and we find out the most when we're displaced, or we have to migrate. We are in exile, like myself, and we find out how it's like, how awkward we feel, even when in the same hemisphere. But it's just that special connection that a lot of times I don't see that in the Aboriginal movement, and I see that a lot of people in the Aboriginal movement, they're creating more conflict with other, you know, like water keepers, uh, land protectors. You know, that's the solidarity we need to move in, and like, you know, and of course we all recognize, you know, um, everybody was melanated before the the whites, you know, made up their own history. It's about to disconnect. Thank God we're all starting to agree. We're all starting to come, you know, and we gotta go farther than that. We gotta go farther than that. We gotta go and say, you know, hey, you know, this shit right here, we must. We must prioritize the land. You know, if you're Aboriginal, that's what it is about. You know, prioritizing the land. No more raping the land. No more like, you know. I mean, just being over here, you know, in New York City, wherever I go, you know, I can see, you know, where practically there's very few spots that was not dynamite. I don't know how you say that. But everything was blown away. You know, the sacred mountains. You know, the sacred, like, it's animism, if you want to call it like that. I think it helped a lot of people. But we gotta learn animism then. We gotta learn animism, and it's not just to see the spirit of the mountain. It's not just to see the spirit of the air. It's not just to become actually aware, knowledgeable of the spirits that you know rule this dimension. You know, the land, and respect them, and go back to, you know, to, I guess in a way also we have to make amends. We gotta make amends, and we got to really like swear we're never gonna, you know, forget about the land, you know, and we're not going to prioritize anything else. You know what I'm talking about? We cannot be allow ourselves to change our land for anything else. You know, I mean, one of the things is like, as much as I despise people like Eva Longoria, you know, a Mexican American who like, you know, she like a prostitute, you know, go with whatever, you know, whenever she feel like it. But, you know, she said like, you know, you gotta learn from that shit. She said, well, I can trace my lineage in Texas in the last 300 years, you know. She said it like that. I don't know if it's truth or not, but that's what is up. That's what's coming. And that's not to say that we're going to create another, you know, more wars like, you know, like the Tutsis and, you know, like the Tigray in Africa. No, it's about like, okay, we're here.